If you're interested in psychology, this would be right up your alley. If not, then of course we fake it till we make it. It's a textbook sample plus a lecture clip. Read the following passage about flow. So flow is the main topic. Great, we know this. We're going to read something about flow.
Pause the video and take a minute to reread this short passage if you need to refamiliarize yourself with the content.
Now have a look at my notes on this. It's very simple. Psychology flow, complete and energized focus. I'm just taking key information. Sense of time is gone. So I'm using, again, not just words, cross for it's not there, tick for it is there here. So sense of time, great satisfaction is true. The focus is on the activity, not the result, and I had time to write down the $ and prestige. So of course that will help me remember that this is a key element to how the professor describes flow. Contrast. I always use the word but when there's a surprise or contrast, but of course we will use transition phrases. Not when relaxing, i.e. leisure and entertainment, but is in difficult tasks, physical, mental, when this element is there. It's a surprise in the passage. Let's move over to the lecture notes. The example given very early on, after a bit of waffle, is the physics professor. Okay, and there we go. This guy saw him in class in the morning. He looked as if he hadn't had any sleep. His hair was a mess. I'm going to introduce a little bit of vocabulary, disheveled. And it turns out he never felt better. So this would be connected to the contrast mentioned earlier on. He'd been there all night doing a math puzzle. It wasn't even connected to his work. He had no dinner, no sleep. So again, this will be something we need to expand upon. As you'll see shortly, the puzzle was not research. It was from a math journal. And the conclusion was there was basically just a bunch of math formulas on the board, and he was really happy even though he had no sleep. So very simple information.
Now we will transfer the notes into a structured response. As described in the previous videos, we recommend 15 or 20-second blocks, depending on the number of points you have planned to explain with the associated details.
First 15 seconds, let's look at what I chose. The flow, give the definition, 100% focus, characteristics, no sense of time, and very satisfied. The feeling is you move into the second 15 seconds here, you'll see that I decided to focus on the contrast here that surprisingly, it's not when we are relaxing, it's when we are under some kind of pressure, physical, mental, the activity. I expand upon that next 15 seconds, flow into this example. By that 30-second part, you must be moving into the example. Very simple. Math quiz, no sleep. I'll expand on that to fill the 15-second. Final 15 seconds, really energized, happy, and not work-related. Add the word disheveled if I can. And look, if you have a bit of time to close off at the end, just somehow summarize the key points here. Maybe that it was the flow was something that had certain characteristics with regard to the loss of time, but great satisfaction. Something very simple just to close off.
According to the paragraph, flow is defined as a state in psychology of having complete focus on an activity, 100% focus, being completely absorbed by one's activity, having no sense of time, yet feeling completely satisfied. Interestingly, however, not in a state of relaxation, but rather in a physical or mental situation of pressure. This was exemplified by the professor when he visited a friend of his on campus, and he looked disheveled, his hair all over the place. It was in the morning, and clearly the person had had no sleep at all. And all over the blackboard there were calculations and symbols, and he'd been working through a math quiz, and he was so energized. And in conclusion, this is the other area which is interesting about flow: full energization, feeling happy. It's all about the activity. It's not about the prestige that results from the activity.
Record your response to this task and repeat until you are satisfied.
Hello again. The YouTube algorithm will offer these free English lessons to more students if you do a little something to help out. Apparently, over half of you forget to like these free videos, probably because you're busy making notes. So pretty please, with sugar on top, hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons. Thank you in advance, and let's help others improve their English skills for free.